Gold Invest. Explore opportunity.
Hi everyone, welcome to the latest Gold Invest CEO interview. Today we're talking to Deepak Varshney, again, CEO of Formation Metals, FOMO on the CSE, because the company just had released strong initial drill results from the gold project N2 in Québec. Welcome, Deepak.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
Deepak, always a pleasure, especially if you have the news with you that you bring in today. Formation just put out, I think it's the first ever drill campaign you have done on the project, not anyone has done, but you have done at the N2 project. And it's off to a strong start, in my opinion. Why don't you quickly take us through the numbers?
Well, that's it. 31 meters of just under 2 grams near surface, right? That's everything we've hoped for. I mean, when we took on this project, our belief was that, there's 55,000 meters drilled historically on this property. So we had a good idea was already here, and a lot of it's funny, the drilling, I call it outfill drilling because they've drilled 5 kilometers of strike, but only 1.5 kilometers of that is in resource. And so, we again had a pretty good idea what we're looking for with all the drill core historically, what we're aiming for, what we're hoping to find. We started drilling. Obviously, the core looked good, and now we have assays. And this is exactly we've been preaching to people for what we're looking at the project. You want near surface mineralization, big, wide intercepts. Grade is good. The grade is actually better than what we've seen historically, right? Especially north of 3.5 grams, 11 meters. Like that's a pretty good hole. But what's even better is that second hole, just about 100 meters away, starts 10 meters vertical, 42 meters of almost a gram. Like that's an open pit project. That is an open pit project. That's open pit mine. And that's what we need. That's what we need to do over and over and over again. But it's nice to see, you start a project with a bang like this.
Well, certainly a good start. You said it, there's open pit potential. Well, you already were pretty confident before you had the results that this might be the case. But it's very good to see that, the model you had, the expectations you had, you're confirming your thesis.
Well, that's it. You build a model, you have an idea of what you're supposed to be looking for. It's supposed to be there. You don't necessarily know what the grade's going to be, but it should be there, right? If the continuity is there, the gold should be there. And that's what we've demonstrated here, right? I always say to people, the 2 biggest risks with this project are, number one, if the gold price went back to $2,000 an ounce, like many projects out there, we'd see the economics need to be adjusted. We think we got 35 million ounces, which is why we would be okay at $2,000 gold. But a retreat in gold price obviously would impact the economics of the project. But the second risk, which is the bigger risk, of course, is you go drill the property and the gold's not there. Well, you know what? We just proved to everybody the gold's there. So we got a lot of gold, and we got more assays to come.
Yes, hopefully a lot of them. Now, you already talked about that. There's a lot of historical data on the project. There's a resource on the project that is historical. So the new results, well, you only have the first holes, but do they validate that historical data? How do they compare to the historical information?
Well, that's it, right? And they pretty much, for what it means to us is that when we take the data we've seen historically, we look at that face value, and you can take it at par, right? Obviously, we have to go do more drilling. We have to twin some of these holes historically. But again, like the question isn't, we didn't twin any holes in this project. Our goal was, if this model says there should be gold here, let's go drill, at X to make sure that there's gold there. If there wasn't any gold there, we'd be more concerned, right? But this fits the model, right? So we can now work backwards and start drilling. Our goal here is to deliver a resource in the second half of the year, Q3, and part of that will be twinning the old holes, but doing a lot more work just along strike at depth, trying to see, these kind of gold systems are better as they go deeper. So we're going to be drilling deeper as well. And really, like, everything here is going to build towards that resource. And, I tell everybody, you look at Maple Gold Mines, phenomenal company, they've had a hell of a run this year, $150 million market cap, 3 million ounces. Our goal is 3 million ounces, we're a $35 million market cap, 12 million cash, EV. So, we're trading at closer to $15 an ounce. They're at $50 an ounce. So we put the work in, we keep showing the results like we have here. That's how we get to $50 an ounce or higher, right? I still think $50 an ounce is cheap. So, that's where we're hopefully headed.
Well, looking forward to hearing it. That begs the next questions. When there was the first 4 holes, you've been drilling for a while now. I guess you have a lot of more holes in. When can we expect the next results?
Very soon, right? So they're coming in. They've been compiled, being interpreted. So we should have a steady stream of assays coming up here pretty much indefinitely. Even on the program in 26, we're 11 holes in. Same thing. Assays are coming in. So we'll have news forever, right? So we'll be telling everybody, hopefully lots of good news for the rest of the year.
Okay, certainly looking forward to it. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Deepak. I think it has become clear that formation is off to a great start here and in defining a new resource, bigger resource than was historically proven. And I, for one, am pretty excited to see what's coming next. Thank you.
Me too, man. Talk soon. Take care.
Thank you.